That was a minor second, probably the most famous minor second in all of music. It's also one of the most commonly used examples for songs to help you recognize musical intervals by ear. Now, if you've ever tried learning intervals by ear before, you'll know that we often use lists of familiar songs to help us remember what those intervals are. At the top of almost all of these lists is the theme from Jaws. If learning to identify intervals is all about memory, then there's no one better to look to than John Williams. So we thought it might be fun and useful at the very least to try to find examples of every interval in the octave using only John Williams themes. So to start things off, there's the minor second, of course. We already spoke about Jaws, but there's also this classic.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
This theme starts with the same phrase repeated 3 times. It's a descending minor second and then an ascending minor second back up from A to B flat. Let's listen for the ascending ones. You've got one here and another here and another here.
You crazy son of a...
Moving right along to a major second. This is the distance between Do and Re in the major scale. Now, major seconds appear all over the place in John Williams scores, but one of the more memorable ones for us appears kind of halfway through the theme to Indiana Jones.
Oh, yes.
This is such a great example of a John Williams melody because it does something he does a lot, which is these short little runs of notes really close together and then these bigger leaps. And we get a really memorable example of a major second here at the end of the first time through the melody. C, D, E. Next up, we've got the minor third. John Williams is often associated with the theme for the Olympics. That's because he wrote a fanfare for the Olympics in the 80s. The theme we know for the Olympics today and we hear every 2 years is actually a bit of a mashup. The first part of the theme is actually a piece called Bugler's Dream by Leo Arnault. And then it transitions into John Williams' fanfare for the Olympics. We're going to use it anyway because it's a great example of a minor third and extremely memorable. These first 2 notes from G to B flat are just such a memorable example of the minor third. And minor third might be an interval I normally think of as a little sad, but in this case, it's super dramatic and triumphant. Here it is, right in the first 2 notes, G, B flat. Okay, so that brings us to major thirds. Interestingly enough, major third is not like a super common John Williams interval. He loves perfect fourths and perfect fifths, but we did find a really good one. And it comes from the most beloved Star Wars film of all time that has no controversy around it at all. That first note change from an A to a C sharp is a major third, outlining the A major chord that feels super triumphant and happy. If we expand our interval a half step up from major third, we get a perfect fourth. Oh boy, does John Williams love a perfect fourth. May the perfect fourth be with you. Let's leave Star Wars behind for a second. This one's a little bit more recent and also really well known.
You're a wizard, Harry.
John Williams loves to start a melody off with a perfect fourth. And Harry Potter is a great example. Overall, this is such an interesting melody, and there's some other great intervals in there as the melody continues. It starts on the B, goes up a perfect fourth to the E.
Snipe, snipe, Severus Snape.
Dumbledore!
Snape.
If we expand our interval by another half step, we have an augmented fourth, or a diminished fifth, or the interval that's affectionately known as the tritone. Now, this is generally considered a pretty unstable interval. It's pretty dissonant. That might be why John Williams chose to use it for the theme he wrote for the nemesis of Peter Pan.
Captain James! How?
gives it a kind of piratey vibe. The unstable dissonance of the interval is perfect for Captain Hook's slightly unstable character. It's right here from the D to the A flat. Following the tritone, we've got the perfect fifth, an interval known for its regal epic sound. Now, these movies might feel a little more dated than the recent Marvel movies or even some of John Williams' other films, but that theme, I guarantee it'll get stuck in your head. That perfect fifth is Superman's theme. It's triumphant, it's strong, it's epic. Some might even call it the perfect fit for the Man of Steel. The perfect fifth is right here from C to G.
I want the name of this flying whatchamacallit.
Moving on, we have a minor sixth. We could go back to Star Wars and fall in love on Naboo. But let's use this classic instead. It's Christmassy, it's cozy, it's lovely. It starts with this descending minor third from A to F sharp before leaping up a minor sixth from F sharp to D. It's a really lovely theme. The minor sixth is right here from the F sharp to the D. A perfect example of a minor sixth. Okay, we've arrived at the major sixth, and of course, we have to go back to Star Wars.
I know.
This is one of my favorite themes. It's so slow and seductive. It's kind of a reversal on what we talked about earlier. It starts with a big leap and then does a little run of notes that are closer together. That major sixth starts right in those first couple notes from the A to the F sharp above it.
What is it?
Next up is a minor seventh, and we're going back to Jurassic Park. Toward the end of that very first time through the main theme, we get this absolutely iconic example of a minor seventh. The minor seventh is right here at the end of this part of the melody. Up till now, we've had all A naturals, so that A flat really jumps out at you. Let's hear it one more time, from the B flat to the A flat above it. So above the minor seventh, we have a major seventh. Major seventh is one of those intervals that's dissonant and a little bit mysterious, and so it's perfect, actually, for Yoda's theme.
You will go to the Dagobah system. Dagobah system.
The major seventh is right here. This is a super dissonant interval, and I love it in this melody. It almost sounds a little mysterious, a little tense, like you're not sure what's going to come next. It's got a sense of excited foreboding about it. Here it is on the piano. Last but not least is the octave itself. There are lots of examples of octaves in John Williams themes, but we couldn't end this video without doing the theme from E.T. This melody again has tons of fantastic interval examples because it's full of these dramatic leaps. But right at the beginning of the second phrase, there's a perfect example of an octave from A to A. And there you have it, every interval thanks to John Williams. Turns out it might be a little bit more useful for some intervals, our perfect fourths, perfect fifths, than for others, but that's up to you to decide. And regardless, we've had a ton of fun spending so much time with these absolutely iconic and memorable melodies. What are your favorite examples that you use to remember intervals? Let us know in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, please follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you found this video useful, go ahead and click on the link in the description below for a PDF with all the intervals in it, so you can learn on your own time.